Whether it is exercising more, eating better, or scrolling less on social media, making good habits and breaking bad ones is no easy business.
Thankfully, there is a science behind why we do what we do and some simple tips to help rewire your brain for success. For more, we are joined by psychologist and career expert Susie Plush. Susie, good to see you as always.
I'll see you guys.
What happens in our brains when we form a habit?
Yeah, so our brains are constantly changing thanks to neuroplasticity, which essentially is your brain's ability to rewire itself. So as you engage in a particular type of behaviour, your brain creates a pathway to make that behaviour automatic. There's a part of your brain called the basal ganglia, and essentially that kind of locks in these behaviours as being automatic. So that's why those habits can be so easy once they're already kind of in your mind. Think of it like a forest track which has got a really well-worn path. That's kind of how your brain operates, by forming these connections to make a habit. Yeah.
Okay, so then what's happening to the brain when you're trying to break that habit?
Yeah, it's a lot harder to break a habit than form a new one. So essentially you're going against that well-worn connection and you've got to create a new connection. So over time, that habit will become stronger than the old one. And that's a different part of the brain. That's called the prefrontal cortex, which makes that decision. So that's all around self-control, decision-making. So it takes a lot more energy and effort. And your brain wants what's easy and what's efficient. So it really doesn't want to create those new habits because it's likes the old habit. Yeah.
So are there three key things, easy and efficient, that we can do to rewire our brains to make us more successful, more productive?
Yes. So it's so interesting that so much of what we do is out of our identity in terms of how we see ourselves. So one of my first points is really try and think about who you want to be in the future. So think about your future self, your ideal future self, the kind of decisions that you want to make, the types of values you want to live out. And if you can make decisions based on that future version of yourself, you're more actually motivated to make these changes. So asking yourself, what would my ideal version of myself do right now? And that creates, some real strong motivation for you to kind of make those decisions.
Your second tip has to do with surroundings.
Yes.
How do they work?
Yeah, so surroundings are your superpower. So there's all these visual cues in our environment that help us make, certain decisions. So if you're trying to eat better, then, put the lollies at the top shelf or don't buy them at all. Or if you're wanting to work out but you're finding it hard to get up in the morning, laying your gym clothes out. Do you?
Pack a gym bag.
Yes. Yeah. Huge.
It's all done the night before, just so you're getting into that habit. Yeah,
so if you've got that there, then you wake up, you're kind of primed already to take action and to do the thing that you want to do. Yeah.
Oh, cool. What's the final step?
So the final step is small habits. So small, tiny changes actually helps. So often we're like, right, we want to change everything in our life, and it's often too much at one time. And like when we think about that pathway in your mind, you've got to create that new pathway. So it's that repetition, that consistency over time. So for example, if you're someone that has a glass of wine a few times a week and you want to cut down on your drinking, it might be worth just replacing that with a sparkling water or a different type of drink. So we always say, replace, don't erase. So trying to use some of these little hacks to help, rewire your brain in a way that's choosing different behaviours.
Okay, so how long does it take to lock in these good habits?
Yeah, so it's interesting. There's been a whole bunch of studies, and some people say, it's 21 days. That's a very simplistic view. So it can be anywhere from 18 days to 254 days. So I think the average person, a couple of months of regular, consistent behaviour will help create that new pathway within your brain.
Do you think I can stop biting my nails? Is there a way to do it?
Oh, what have you tried?
You've tried the polish that tastes gross.
Hypnotherapy.
Yeah.
Really?
No good. Just bit them more.
No good. Sometimes, like even an elastic band on your wrist,
just as a reminder,
as a little flick when you go to do that. Yeah. So there's, again, it might be thinking about ways that you can replace that, or noticing what the trigger is. When do you actually start biting your nails? Because normally there's a trigger.
Yeah. Usually when I'm sitting next to Sophie.
When you're nervous?
Makes me anxious.
So if you're a nail biter, I can assume you're a nose picker as well.
I'm not a nose picker.
I think they go in hand in hand.
Yeah. I won't say that.
See why I have to bite my nails? See? Thanks, Susie.
Makes you worried. See, there you go.
Anxious, just on edge always.
Hey there, Today fans. Sarah and What's my name again?
Oh my goodness. Carl?
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel, though. Subscribe now for more news, special reports, and amazing Aussie stories.
And Carl misbehaving,
Whoa,
of course.
that never happens.
Always happens.
What's she talking about?
Always happens.